Shedeur Sanders only has 1 year to earn Brown's trust. The young, fifth-round prospect may not have very long to prove his worth for the Cleveland Browns. It was just this time last year that Shedeur Sanders was being considered the top quarterback prospect in the 2025 NFL Draft. Only his collegiate teammate, two-way standout Travis Hunter, was considered a more vaunted prospect. Then, for whatever reasons we'll find out as time goes on, Sanders went from the potential first overall pick to a middling fifth-round selection. It all happened overnight, and it took the league by surprise. No prospect has ever fallen that far before after being predicted to go so high. It was truly unprecedented. Yet, the Cleveland Browns scooped him up with the idea that, at worst, Sanders could turn into the backup quarterback for Dillon Gabriel. Gabriel, of course, is the third-round quarterback the Browns took ahead of Sanders. Sanders has looked good at times this offseason and early into training camp, causing many to wonder if his fall was justified. It's a conversation that's fair. After all, he was as vaunted as he was for a reason. Now, the son of legendary coach Deion Sanders has to prove that he can play at a high level and fast, because time is already running out on his shot. Unlike quarterbacks taken in the first round of the NFL Draft, Sanders isn't going to have 2 or 3 seasons to develop in Cleveland. The Browns are looking to turn things around, and fast, and could possibly have 2 first-round picks in the 2026 NFL Draft that land in the top 10. Assuming the Browns and the team that owes the other first-round pick, the Jaguars, both struggle, Cleveland could be in one of the best situations in the league heading into 2026. This compounds things further, as the last few quarterback classes have been a mixed bag. Yet, the 2026 class seems to have a set of really impressive prospects. You have Drew Aller out of Penn State, Garrett Nussmeier from LSU, South Carolina's Lana Sellers, and Clemson's Cade Klubnik all making noise as top prospects at the position. All 4 men could go in the top 10 of the draft next season, assuming they don't hit metaphorical brick walls. That doesn't even count the biggest prospect in all of college football, Arch Manning, son of Cooper Manning and nephew of Peyton and Eli. Arch seems to have the throwing credentials of his uncles, but the athleticism of his father. Cooper, for those unaware, was a standout wide receiver until a spine injury ended his career before ever getting to college. Who knows if Arch can put everything together? But if he can, the NFL execs will be fighting over one another to get him. Anyway, you cut it, there's too much quarterback talent in the 2026 draft to run things back with a mediocre fifth-rounder under center. If Sanders can't showcase genuine talent under center, the type of talent and production that makes people wonder if he's an MVP candidate already, then the Browns will likely look to get a more touted prospect in the draft. If they do that, then Sanders is likely on his way out. So the young quarterback has just 1 season to really prove what he's worth. Otherwise, it's likely he's heading to a new team in 2026. The lights of Cleveland burned just a bit brighter when Shedeur Sanders stepped onto the field wearing orange and brown. A 5th-round draft pick with a first-round name, the rookie quarterback didn't just bring swagger. He brought expectation, legacy, and a ticking clock. The Browns didn't draft Shedeur as a long-term project. This was a challenge. 1 year, 1 chance, 1 shot to prove he could be the leader the franchise had always dreamed of. The clock starts now. When Shedeur arrived at training camp, the vibe was electric. Fans wore Prime Legacy shirts, and social media exploded with every crisp spiral he threw. But inside the facility, there were no red carpets, only whiteboards, film sessions, and a brutal quarterback competition. The Browns were no strangers to QB roulette. They'd been through Baker Mayfield, Deshaun Watson, and now were testing both Shedeur and Dillon Gabriel. But unlike the others, Shedeur's opportunity came with an expiration date. Browns GM Andrew Berry made it clear, "We're evaluating every rep. This is not a developmental year for anyone. If Shedeur wants it, he has to take it now." Under the shadow of legends and pressure, Shedeur's last name carried weight. His father, Deion coach Prime Sanders, was everywhere, from late-night interviews to pre-game sideline visits. With that spotlight came doubters. Some critics said Shedeur was only in the league because of Deion. Others claimed his college stats wouldn't translate to NFL speed. But Shedeur didn't flinch. During a press conference, he smiled and leaned into the mic. "I'm not here for the hype. I'm here to win. And I've got 365 days to prove it." The learning curve and locker room wars. Inside the Browns' locker room, Shedeur had to win more than just the playbook. He had to win hearts. Veterans like Amari Cooper and Nick Chubb weren't interested in flashy highlights. They wanted a quarterback who could lead under pressure, take the hits, and bounce back harder. At minicamp, Shedeur threw 2 interceptions in a scrimmage against the first-team defense. The media questioned his readiness. The next day, he stayed on the field until sunset, throwing post routes to practice squad receivers, working on timing, refusing to fold. Linebacker Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah later said, "You earn respect in Cleveland by bleeding for it." Shedeur bled early, but he didn't back down. Week 3, the turning point. The Browns' QB1, Kenny Pickett, suffered a shoulder sprain in Week 3. The dog pound roared with anticipation. This was Shedeur's moment. Facing the Ravens, he opened shaky. Missed throws. A delay of game. But in the fourth quarter, trailing by 6, something changed. Shedeur led a 12-play, 78-yard drive, capping it off with a laser to David Njoku for a touchdown. He pointed to his wrist as he ran back to the sideline. "Time's ticking," he said. "I'm just getting started." Coach Stefanski's dilemma. By week 7, Shedeur had started 4 games. 2 wins, 2 losses. His stats weren't eye-popping, but his poise under pressure impressed the coaching staff. Stefanski faced a question that had haunted Browns fans for years. Stick with potential, or return to the veteran. Behind closed doors, debates raged. Some coaches argued Shedeur's decision-making wasn't ready for playoff football. Others said his ceiling was higher than any QB on the roster. GM Andrew Berry delivered a final directive. "If we're going to bet, let's bet on upside. We gave him 1 year, let him finish it." December fire. The Browns were 8-6 entering Week 15, clawing for a wildcard spot. Shedeur, now firmly the starter, had grown into the role. His chemistry with Elijah Moore was undeniable. His pocket presence had matured. But there were still skeptics. ESPN ran a segment titled, "Can Shedeur really be the future?" In response, Shedeur posted a photo on Instagram, the Browns' helmet sitting on a ticking clock. The caption read, "I'm not waiting. I'm working."